that when you have something and you like what you have, the Rebbe calls that not real joy and a short, I don't know if it's short lasting, but it's not real. It's not a real simcha. It's something which actually will contribute to depress, to make you sad. I remember when I was learning in the driver's ed in yeshiva about alcohol, how alcohol is a depressant. I was thinking, why is alcohol depressant? There's alcohol, people come, they smile, they sing, but that's just externally. It is depressing. So to looking at the thing that you have, you're saying that's making me happy because I have this. It's not actually. It's not working today.
It's hiding behind a false.
Yeah, it's hiding behind something which is false. Exactly. That's what Rebbe says. It's hiding behind something which is false. The real happiness is by recognizing the truth. But be looking at yourself and focusing on yourself. One language of the billboard that we have in La Cienega, feel yourself. By feeling yourself, not only does it not make you happy, it makes you sad. And there's two reasons for this. We learned reason number one last week. Reason number one, briefly, last week is that if you focus on yourself and you feel yourself, that's going to cause you to magnify all the things that you're doing and all the things that you have and all the things that your family has. And you're going to look at yourself and your family and all the things that you're doing and say, wow, I am, God's gift to mankind. Look what kind of an amazing creature that God made, which is me. And what happens is when you feel that way is, number one, the first issue is you feel whatever you have, you deserve. I was going to say this, the microphone is in a very bad mood today. Whatever you feel you deserve. And everybody gave the analogy of the snake. It says in the Torah that the snake is the saddest creature. And even though the snake is the richest creature, it's the wealthiest creature. It has all of its needs wherever it is. It has whatever it could possibly want because it's nourished by the earth. It's a sad creature. Why is it so sad? Because it feels itself. I never say this, but I was thinking. It says that a snake tastes everything. Everything tastes to it like dust. Its nourishment is dust. It's all still tasteless to the snake. If you're like a snake, then no matter what you get, it tastes like dust.
Why it says in the Torah that the snake is going to eat dust.
Yeah.
It doesn't really eat dust.
What does it eat?
It eats food.
It eats food.
Whatever it is. But I guess if it tastes like dust,
It tastes like dust.
then it makes sense because it eats it.
So
it's the kedusha from Russian heart that falls from sustains it.
Clip gets nourishment from this. But I was thinking like this: if I feel myself and everything tastes to me blah, as the Rabbi said, in the that when someone feels entitled, so they're not happy with what they have because they feel they deserve whatever they have. So if you deserve what you're getting, you don't get happy about it because you deserve. When you get paid, you don't get happy. We show up to your boss and get your paycheck. You don't feel happy about your paycheck. You feel like, okay, you owe that to me. But when you get a bonus, you get a gift. Oh, now the employee says thank you differently to the employer. Now there's a sense of gratitude, there's a sense of happiness. Look what I got. And it's not necessarily that you got something especially good. Not like the bonus was something which was like, well, the bonus you wanted necessarily. But the fact you got a bonus, you noticed it. In other words, you got the paycheck, you didn't even notice what it was. You didn't notice, okay, this paycheck is allowing me to pay my rent and to buy food and to pay my health insurance. And there's so many things I could do with it. You don't think about that. You get a bonus, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is a bonus. This is extra. Wow, what does this mean for me? This is great. You're happy about it. Why? Because it's something extra. So the and the guy we said who feels himself, he makes you feel when he's doing you a favor. It's not because he is stingy and therefore the resources expending and doing you this favor are especially hard for him. It's just because he's so self-focused, whatever he does is full of himself. It's just natural. When he does you a favor, it's emphasized somehow in that favor, I'm doing you a favor. Conversely, if someone does not feel themselves, if they recognize the truth, what's the truth? The truth is that if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you are just satisfying a deficiency. If you're doing whatever you're supposed to be doing, what you're meant to do, what God put in the world to do, you're just satisfying the deficiency. It's not considered something which is excessively good. It's just showing up to what Hashem planned for you to do. So you're doing good for yourself and doing good for others. That's why you're here. That's why you were born. It's not something which is excessively good. And when you realize that, then you feel whatever God's giving you is a gift. And you feel it's a gift, then you're happy about it. So that's the first way that I've explained why humility contributes to happiness. And on the contrary, feeling yourself and focusing on yourself makes you sad, because whatever you feel, whatever you get, you deserve. There's a second problem with feeling yourself. Let's go into the second problem. The second problem is on page 302, the line starts with the word Magil. Besides the fact that you feel whatever you get, you deserve. Besides that, because you feel yourself, you don't look at yourself accurately. You don't measure yourself accurately. And you measure yourself and your needs, and you say, I'm not getting enough. What are your needs? Your needs are based upon who you are. Because you're mistaken about yourself, therefore you're mistaken about what you deserve and what you should get. Automatically, it's not sufficient, it's not enough. Hashem made the world in a way that if you have $100, you want 200. That's everyone. That's even someone who does not focus on himself. And that's why it says in the Torah that a person does not live to a point where he gets even more than half of what he wants. No matter how long he lives, he's not going to get more than half of what he wants, because whatever you have, you're going to want double as much. If you have 100, you're going to want 200. So a person lives and passes away and never gets more than half what they want. So that's the way Hashem made every person. Even someone who recognizes the truth, he's also human, he also wants more. Hashem made a person to want more. However, in addition, but this guy who feels himself and thinks he deserves a lot, and he doesn't understand himself, and he thinks he deserves things which are totally not in the realm of what he is supposed to get. So therefore, when he is happy about what he gets, he's not really happy. He's not fully happy. Why? Because even though he says, "Oh, this is a good thing, right? It's good." He got himself a Tesla. Oh, this is a good car. I like this car. This is a great car. Look what I got. I got a Tesla. So he's not really going to be happy with the Tesla. Why isn't he happy with the Tesla? Because every Tesla he got is also something else which is beyond the Tesla. He deserves to have a Lambo. Why does he just have a Tesla? A Lambo is a higher madrega, right? So he just had a Lambo. There's an expression. Huh?
Lambo is a pain in the back.
Yeah, you don't like Lambos.
You can't get in there. You get in, you can get out.
There's a line in
Rolls Royce, different story.
Rolls Royce you're okay with.
Oh,
Okay.
marvelous.
But so although he's happy, he says, I'm happy like this. But not only is he not fully happy, but in the end is that celebrating the Rolls Royce, celebrating the Tesla, is going to make him sad, because he's going to say this is not really enough. Because he recognizes he is virtue, and he says how great he thinks he is, he's always sad. Whatever God gives him as far as children, health, and livelihood is concerned, whatever respect he gets from other people, it's never going to be according to how much he thinks he deserves. He thinks he deserves more. So although he says this is a good car, but it's still not going to make him happy, because the very fact he's focused on himself is going to say that something it's not going to be good. He deserves more. It's like Haman coming home to his family and celebrating the fact that he's invited to the banquet with Achashverosh, and yet although he comes to the banquet with Achashverosh and he has everything that he wants, Haman says, no, I'm upset. Why am I upset? Because Mordechai is bowing down. The whole world's bowing down to him. But he's upset because Mordechai is not bowing down. Why does it bother him that Mordechai is not bowing down? He has everybody else bowing down. The reason it bothers him is because he is so self-focused and so into himself, and therefore he's not going to be happy. Because, like, I don't know. So whatever says the internal need is that you think, you focus on yourself and you feel yourself, and because you feel yourself, you feel how good you are. Therefore, you just feel you deserve a lot more. Whatever it is, you feel you deserve more. I spoke to some couples, and the guy, I'm thinking of, he just didn't get it. He just had no idea what God gave him. He had no idea. He just was blinded. But what makes us blind to what the gifts that Hashem gives us and to appreciate them is that we look at ourselves, look how good we are, we think we're so great, and therefore we think like, that's not for me. A lot of young people looking for are looking for a shidduch. They can't find the shidduch. And many of them, the reason they can't find the shidduch is because they're looking for a package. I know this young man who used that expression all the time. Now I was thinking about this person, that person, and so she has this virtue and that virtue, but the whole package.
It's all a fear of getting ultimately.
What is the fear coming from? So it says the fear, where it's coming from is you focus on yourself, you think about yourself, I deserve so much. And therefore, because I deserve so much, so therefore there's going to be a problem somewhere because I deserve so much. That's the person who is into himself and feels himself. Let's go to Isyud. However, what does a humble person feel? The beginning of the paragraph. A humble person is always happy. Not only is he happy, he's also good in a state of goodness of heart. I once heard that the Rabbi once told someone in the audience that he uses the expression always happy and good and having goodness of heart. And this Rabbi said people never ask me what I mean by goodness of heart. And what I mean is they should feel good, So, and simcha shleim, that means the happiness of the humble person is a complete happiness. Not only is he also happy, not only is he also joyful, but this is a complete happiness. Why does he have complete happiness? Because he's not so self-focused, because he doesn't consider himself to be the best. Certainly doesn't, he's not in a state where he feels himself to be so important. On the contrary, his direction, his trajectory is that he doesn't want to be important in his own eyes. Someone who is called batul be'etzem, someone who's in a state of bittul, state of abnegation. He doesn't reckon with himself at all. When there's something that has to get done, whether it's something that he needs to do, or it's something he needs to do for his family, he does what he needs to do beautifully. He doesn't need to do for his family beautifully. What he needs to do for other people, he does all the way. Why? Because he just recognizes the truth. That's what I'm supposed to do. So it's not that he, remember certain people you could tell that they have that thing in them. They're just like, they recognize the truth. This is what I'm supposed to do, and they don't. It's not counting. They're not counting that I do enough yet. I remember one sukkah, right before sukkahs, I discovered I didn't have enough schach on my sukkah. So I don't know how, but I ended up finding someone who has palm fronds on this tree in the backyard, and it was right before. Huh? I need to cut them down. So this guy, he showed me where the thing is, and he showed me, and he gave me this whatever it was to cut it down, and he sized me up pretty quick. Like, this guy is not going to get this down. This like, oh, and tried to cut down a palm front with a toothbrush. It's not going to work. Anyways, so this guy, he didn't just he took charge. This became his sukkah. It became his sukkah. And so he worked and it's not enough. It became his decision if it was enough or not. Like, am I happy with it? Is this enough? Is this enough? So the humble person, the guy is not so self-focused. He just feels, I need to do what Hashem wants me to do. I need to do what I'm supposed to do. Doesn't feel, when he does all these things beautifully, doesn't feel he deserves anything. just feels That's what he's supposed to do. When you do it, when you need to do it, it's not considered anything special. It's not considered a virtue. I don't deserve anything for this because that's what I'm supposed to do. When he has what he has, whatever he has, he feels it's a gift. And therefore he's very happy about it. So number one, he feels that the two deficiencies we spoke about, the person who is self-focused, they are, number one, he feels whatever he has, he deserves. Number two, whatever he has is not enough because he deserves more. So conversely, the guy does not feel himself. Number one, he feels whatever he has is a gift, if he's happy with it. Number two, he doesn't think like he is supposed to marry the daughter of the king. I guess he's supposed to have the Lambo. He's supposed to have something which is not in his ballpark. Why doesn't he feel that way? Because he's not so self-focused. Doesn't magnify himself to feel like I deserve something which is not in the realm of his existence. He feels he has enough, and therefore his joy is complete. That's number one. Number two, first of all, he feels whatever he has is a gift from Hashem, and also he feels whatever he has is what he's meant to have. Let's go deeper. The humble person is also not upset when he does not receive what he needs. Built the next page. Why doesn't he feel bad? He doesn't get his needs. So first of all, he is someone who is not mistaken about himself. He recognizes the truth. And because he recognizes the truth, so this is a guy who's obviously not into the physical stuff so much. He's not so into his gashmis. If he recognizes the emes, what's the emes? Today is the yahrzeit of Bas Ayin. Bas Ayin speaks about Savel La'aretz, coming to the land of Israel. He says coming to the land of Israel means coming to the world to come. Coming to the world to come, you suddenly realize that everything you were trying to get in this world wasn't really what life is about. So because this guy's in Makir Emes, he knows the truth, he recognizes what life is about, he's not so into his gashmis. So even when he doesn't get what he needs, he's still not so upset. He has more important things than his physical needs. He has things that he cares about more than his physical needs. So this guy is someone who is into spirituality. He's not into the gashmis. For him, it's more important the fact that he put on tefillin than the fact that he paid his electric bill. Look at this mitzvah. So this guy is in a different plane of existence. Ruchnius, spirituality, that's something which has more of a center stage to it. Besides that, besides this, he doesn't get sad because he says, I don't deserve anything. Why should I get sad? Because he's not into himself. He doesn't feel he's missing anything. Everything's okay. Everything else is right. Everything's okay. Everything is justifiable. This didn't happen. Okay, it's justifiable. I don't deserve it. Why should I get it? So because he's not so focused on himself, the contrary, he is focused on the truth. So number one, he is not into gashmis. Number two, he doesn't feel he deserves anything. And number three, he doesn't feel like he's missing anything. So there's three parts to this. Number one is the kind of things that we feel naturally we're missing. A humble person, someone who's focused on the truth, doesn't feel those things are that important. The Fas used to say that in Russia, there are three things they're concerned about. They're concerned about lulav and mesed. They're concerned about matzahs. They're concerned about educating their children. And he says, now my friends are concerned about three different things. They're concerned about rolling up their beards and the parking spaces and their diets. And the taxes, parking spaces, diets, and taxes. No, they're rolling the beards is something else. He wanted all his grandchildren not to roll the beards. He didn't like people. Right? Anyways, so I have uncles like it's top. Anyways, so the point is that there are three components to the humble person's satisfaction with what he has, and even when he doesn't have what the regular person will say, well, you need this. He doesn't feel he needs it. Number one is he's not into his physical needs. He's not into it. He's into spiritual things. Number two, besides the fact he's not into physical things, he doesn't feel he deserves anything. And number three, it's not, he himself isn't, he doesn't feel his needs that much because he's not into himself. So therefore, he doesn't even feel like he missed something. I was once speaking to a Jew in a private audience, and the Jew had a son who was learning Rebbe's yeshiva, and he was a little bit upset about where his son was going in yeshiva. His son is now today a successful shliach, rabbi. So he was speaking to this guy, and he says to Rebbe, Peretz Machkin is a venerable chassid, he's walking around with a ripped kapata. And Marilyn Monroe, she just signed $1 million contract. So Rebbe responded, Peretz Machkin, I don't know if he knows he has a ripped kapata, and I don't think he's bothered, who cares about his ripped kapata. And she, I doubt they ever said her name, we'll see where she ends up. And shortly afterwards, she suicide, and the Peretz Machkin probably still didn't realize that he had a but that's an honor. An honor that doesn't feel he needs anything. And isn't the other things anyway? It to be continued.